up. All right. When the moon hits the sky like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Welcome to Respectfully Podcast. I'm Andrea Allen.
I'm Lizzy Cassidy, and before we started recording, I forgot to ask if I could plug in my phone.
This is unbelievable.
Sorry. But if I don't, I will die.
That was not demure. And let's welcome in today's guest, a returning guest.
Oh
I'm sitting with maybe my two favorite women in the world. Welcome to the program, Tracey Carnazzo.
Very mindful. Very mindful.
Very mindful. Very
mindful.
demure.
Honestly, one of the most mindful bitches I've ever met.
Truly.
I
try to be mindful.
Truly the best of the best.
Yeah.
Even when I'm losing my mind.
But you're still on top of it.
Yeah,
I know. And it's also like, what's everyone else's excuse? Like, people are running around acting like lunatics. And it's like, we're all going insane every day and we're still being mindful.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
know. You are one of these people that have gone through so much that I hit you with like a trauma and you're like, or just like imagine this happened and you're like, it's happened 10 times. I don't care.
Yeah, that's called disassociation.
Right. We love it. You're like, I'm putting a turkey in the oven. What do you want?
How many dead bodies are you going to see? I mean,
Right.
are we still crying over dead
Before
people?
it's old news.
Yeah, eventually it just is what it is.
It's kind of old hat. Oh, yeah, we're all dead dads. We're all DDs.
Yeah,
This is a club.
Yeah.
Have we ever had someone on this podcast who had an alive dad?
I don't know.
No,
I
you can't
so.
do comedy if your dad's alive, I think.
Right, yeah.
I think
Is
that's
that a thing?
illegal.
There's a pass that
Has
you
your
get.
comedy gotten better? Has your career gotten better since the
Yes.
DD?
Markedly. Mine has markedly gotten better.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I have no career, but my comedy's gotten insufferably dark, if that's your question.
That's what I meant.
And that's better.
Yeah, it is better. I'm proud of what I have now, but no
Good.
one else likes it. So
The other day,
That's a
I'm walking
trade-off.
in
And that's what we call a voice.
walking in Koreatown, not trying to brag. And I watched a kid get hit by a car. And you know what? I was like, well,
5
Kept
out of 10.
depression.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope he's okay or not. I don't care. I have to go.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah,
thing.
I do have like stuff to do on
Yeah.
Porch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was meeting my friend. I was like, oh yeah, there's like maybe a dead body in the street. I don't know. And she's like, that's gonna give you PTSD. I was like, oh, that's gonna give me
that's
PTSD.
gonna
What do you think I am,
one.
a baby?
Yeah, come on. I'm not a bit. This is dead body number 17.
Oh,
yeah.
Stop.
Oh,
Please
a brain
stop.
bleed's gonna do
Yeah.
it? Ugh, please.
No.
It's so funny to think that like a dead body is going to give you PTSD. Like someone saying that to me, and it's like people have tried to kill me.
Yeah, no,
Right.
the alive bodies are the bodies that are
Yes.
giving me
Like,
PTSD.
what are you
Yeah.
talking
This
about?
dead guy's not going to do anything to me.
If you're kind of like, oh my God, it's not me today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also like another man.
Check.
The world is a little bit safer today.
Which
I also have like the kind of mental illness where I'm like, if I watch somebody get hit by a car, I'm like, well, statistically, it'd be crazy if I got hit by a car.
Yeah, thank you. You
so
got
now
that out
I'm
of the
like
way.
safe for the rest of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Well, speaking of fear-based things,
Yeah.
this actually brings us right into. We're here to make you upset and scared.
You can't make me more upset. That's actually
There's a
impossible.
threshold.
So I brought this up lightly, and
Yeah.
you were like, immediately, I have many thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So let me just tee it up.
Sure.
Respectfully,
Mhm.
if you're a man who viciously and emotionally hates women to a level that it's like
you're obsessed with it.
oh, it's your social media
Right.
presence, you're unbearable in public, something's going on with your sexuality.
You're gay.
You hate pussy.
You're
Okay,
gay.
so
Yeah.
I think this is what I was thinking about in the bathtub today.
Mhm.
I was thinking about how
Obsessed with you.
now when a man treats a woman very nicely,
Yes.
what do his friends say to him?
He's a pussy.
And he's gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, isn't that the
Isn't that
exact
straight?
when
Isn't
a
that
guy's
the
like, I
straightest
want to go
thing you can
home
do?
and spend time with my loving wife, all his friends are like, gay.
Yes. Why aren't you watching Barstool and jerking each other off?
It's
with
like
us?
we're gonna
Yeah.
be up
Straight
all
guys.
night mouth kissing. You're gonna go home to your stupid gay wife.
With a vagina that
Yeah.
you can
And it's
have
like-
sex with.
Yeah.
Every guy, when you say to a guy like, oh, some guys are like, oh, I would love to be gay if there was no sex. This guy could just hang out with my friends all the time.
That's gay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like so what do you need us for exactly?
Right.
What are you looking for in a relationship? You're looking for us to shut the fuck up,
Right.
number one. Do all the stuff for
Yeah.
you.
Big time.
And then you need to leave immediately to be with other men.
but first you have to
be with
you have
other
to drop a load in me and then go hang out with other men.
But also, don't tell anyone that you liked being with me
God
romantically.
forbid.
And make sure that they know that there was no emotion.
Not like having sex with me is one thing because you're like you fuck your wife, like nice, but like I have a nice conversation or I like my wife as a person.
No,
gay.
Meanwhile, like to me, there's nothing straighter than a guy I know who's just walking around talking about how much he loves his wife.
Yeah,
right. But
like I
why
have a few friends that are like, I love my wife, guys, and I'm like, that guy is so fucking straight.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but that's logic.
Right.
And this is not the real
and this
world.
is men.
Yes.
And we can't prescribe them logic.
So that's my problem.
I mean, it's also like the Barstool guys too. It's so
unless they want to have me on their podcast, and I will absolutely.
And of course, we'll
just
come on.
kidding.
And we love
you. Comedy podcast.
Oh my God.
It's
and
like,
you guys know how like you have to be able to take it if you dish it
right.
out.
Like, we love pizza, so it's
we
like
love pizza and beer and
gluten-free.
sports. And
they are like they're very like workout. The workout stuff is so homoerotic. And if you go back and look, have you guys ever watched Top Gun, the original Top Gun?
Yeah.
It's the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
dude.
the world would be a better place if boys could just be like, I have a crush on my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that instead of making them love us, it's like lean into who you are.
That's what I'm saying. Just have a
lean
crush
into
on your friend.
You want to play PlayStation with your best friend? I think you guys should kiss.
I think you should suck him off a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
That's when you suck them
do it.
off.
Suck
him
do
off
it.
a little bit.
Just suck 'em do it because then I don't have to do it when you get home.
This is what I'm saying. If I have to, like, I have to listen to you and suck your dick and watch you play video games, your boys would love that.
Yeah.
They would love to watch you play PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then make you come.
There's also this thing.
That's sweet. No, I love this. I'm on board with all of this.
There's gay men who gay men who are misogynistic are so fascinating to me because I'm like, you did it. Why do you have to hate us?
But you know what though?
Suck each
that
other
makes
off.
so much more sense for a gay guy to be misogynistic. It's like, you hate women. Perfect.
Yeah.
You're doing everything in your life to make sure
that there are no women around.
You don't have to sleep with me.
Yeah.
I get it. It's the straight men that are misogynistic that confuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they actually need us.
Right.
For
It's
something.
like you're trying to sleep with me and you hate me and you're not being nice to me and you want me to have no rights. It's like you want me to have no rights, but you also want me to do all this stuff for you.
Right.
So I need some rights.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Yes. Just
I'm not asking for like a palace.
You want me to make but you want me to make more money than you.
Right.
Because you want me to take care of you, but you don't want me to, but you're not allowing me to make more money than you.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's the fucking thing.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Every fucking loser I've ever dated has resented me for having like just like a crumb of success. Literally, like I'll get like the smallest little thing and then they have a temper tantrum for 2 weeks and it's like, okay, but I had to Venmo you so you could take the train here. So what exactly are we fucking
going to pay
talking
our
about?
bills if you don't want me to be successful?
Literally, what are we talking about when like you are leeching off of my bank account? You should be happy that I got a little raise.
Yeah.
Because that means you did
You
too.
asked me to hold $20 until the end of the week so you can go to the barber. What? I'm not talking about anyone specific, but yet you don't want me to make more money than you, which is inevitable.
Right. Listen, I want 3 rights: eat, pray, and love.
Right.
Okay, that's all I want in this world.
And abortion.
And a quick 2 abortions. Well, gay men also that hate women. Pussy has been standing in their way of dick, and especially.
But see, again, this is. I'm not mad at a gay man that's misogynistic.
No.
Yes. That's supposed to. This is the man that's
the natural order.
I
Yes,
was like, if
you're
you want
supposed
his
to
dick
hate
so
women.
bad, you can have it.
Right.
I don't think I want it as badly.
Right.
I think also like just living platonically with a gay man who's nice. Can you imagine that being your life partner? Just like coming home and a lasagna being ready.
Yes.
Yes. It's my dream.
Yeah.
It's my dream. Yeah. Yuck, dude. I fucking.
Okay. So to just sum this up, men, yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay,
full
cool.
yuck. It's
I
a
don't know
full
why
yuck.
I'm alone. Like I put out such positive energy.
I know.
You know, some people say, I will you want to hear a great story?
Yes, please.
Always.
My garbage man at my mother's house,
Mm-hmm.
not my garbage man, my mother's garbage man. She was in the yard and he called her out and he's like, hey, your daughter's really funny.
Yeah.
She's like, great.
She's like, my daughter?
Why do you know?
You mean my son?
Right. Why do you know my daughter?
Yeah.
And he's like, I see her around. I follow her on social media. He goes, but I do not think she likes men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, these things are all accurate.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. But it's my mother's garbage man is telling her this.
Hilarious.
You know what happened to me recently in the same vein? I reconnected with an old coworker who's like maybe the nicest person I've ever met in my life. Truly like a wife, a mother. Sorry.
No, I know.
I'm kidding. I'm famously not very nice.
I dedicate my life to you, but whatever.
I don't love you guys because you're the nicest people. I dedicate my life to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys are kind, but I would not describe you as nice.
Yeah, no, certainly not.
Nor would I describe myself as nice. I think we're men's at night. All three of us in a room just fucking yakking.
I mean, crazy.
I think we're a nightmare. But this woman's so wonderful, and her husband, I say hi, her husband's in the background doing nothing, smoking weed. She's like, hi again. I'm like, you make more money than him, and he has the audacity.
He is high again.
Oh, look.
I mean, stand up.
What, no good?
And he's like, oh, I see your podcast. I'm actually surprised you're marrying a man. And I'm like, shut the fuck
Yeah, be like,
up.
I'm upset about it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm equally as surprised and upset.
But I'm like, oh, you're surprised I'm marrying a man. I'm actually marrying like a nice man who views me as a human being.
Right.
And
isn't high on the couch.
Exactly. You can't even believe I could find that.
That reminds me like what you guys were just saying. Like we'll get comments on clips like of our podcast, or I'll get comments on clips of my stand-up that's like, you're gonna have to change your mentality if you don't want to wind up alone. And it's like, do you think I'm saying this shit into a microphone to make men like me?
Right.
Also, you think I don't want to end up alone? What about me has said that I don't want to die alone? Because that is my goal.
Also, it's like, if that was the goal, I'd simply turn the thing off. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I know you don't like it. That's literally the point.
Yeah. The only chance I have of dying with someone is like a murder-suicide.
Yes. Which I find romantic.
I love that.
Yeah. And I knew you would get that.
Yeah.
I do think that's like one of the most romantic things you can do for someone.
Tracy, your funeral is going to be fucking lit.
Oh my God, you're going to come?
Of course.
Okay,
I'll be planning it. I'll be sitting there behind a podium and just being like, no,
absolutely
she hated you.
Fake.
That outfit is terrible. Let's try this again.
Yeah, please no.
Oh, really?
No, and please no one wear perfume.
My God.
She gets a headache.
Are you wearing a Kohl's bag to a Tracey Carnazzo affair?
Get out.
Ew, dude.
No taste. No gluten, no sesame, even though I'm going to be dead.
Yeah, no, I respect
out of respect.
Yeah.
Out of respect for the woman, the institution.
I appreciate it.
And speaking of institutions, we had a podcast for a year and change during maybe one of the craziest times in New York City.
To be honest with you, I think it was a year exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Only in New York.
It was a limited edition podcast.
It was. Did it end for any particular reason?
No, because we had a 1 year run.
Yeah.
We had a 1 year run. We had a contract with God and Jesus and Allah.
And Congress.
Congress. And on our 1 year anniversary, it needed to.
Yeah.
We didn't get renewed.
People said it was too powerful.
Yeah. We got a court order.
We got no season 2.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And that happens.
No one told us that we couldn't do it anymore. So that's good.
Yeah.
We don't let anyone control us.
Yeah.
So
No. Nothing happened.
It was worth it, by the way.
100%.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Shout out. God, I'm always like, don't start beef, Andrea. Stop starting beef.
What are you going to do? Not
Dude,
talk to me anymore?
I have so much beef. It's like ruining my life.
I'm a fucking stew.
Can I just say this really quickly?
I'm a stew.
My boyfriend sent me a TikTok the other day being like, we should go to this restaurant. And it was like a Mexican restaurant in Queens that has a Michelin star. And I had to text him back and be like, we can't go there. I have beef with the chef.
I have a beef with a lot of
and it's like,
chefs.
sorry, I have like an insane amount of lore, but I just have beef with everybody. And I didn't even like fuck this guy. We like got into a fight at a food festival.
A food fight or?
No, I was like volunteering and
was it a food festival or a soup kitchen? What's happening here?
Festival. My friend was running it, so I volunteered.
You're volunteering. It was court ordered.
It was court ordered community service at the Long Island City Food Festival.
After the incident.
And I had to like check in all the vendors or whatever. And when you check in as a vendor, you get to bring like 2 helpers, and all of those people get to go to the festival for free. So they get like free food and booze.
Yeah.
And the guy who owns this restaurant brought like 15 people.
Right.
And he was like, I need all of them to help me.
He's a man.
I know. And he was like, I need all of them to help me. And I was like, well, I just like the only thing I was told to do was not let this happen. So I like cannot allow this. And he like screamed in my face, and I had to get like the woman who ran the festival, whatever. Then anyway, fast forward, my job there was done. So I was like,
she got fired.
yeah. So I got let go. We parted ways. So I was just like,
I love parting ways.
It was a limited edition.
We came to an understanding.
It was one
ways.
season.
But because like I volunteered, the reason I did it is because then you get to go to the festival for free.
Right.
So I'm like walking around, and this restaurant is very popular, so they have a long line.
Right.
But they had just brought ceviche and Tupperware, and we're just scooping it into little plastic cups. And everyone else, all the other vendors are like cooking.
Right.
But they just like brought this fucking Tupperware.
Is it
full
at
of
least
fish.
on ice?
Yeah.
Question
but like,
mark. All right.
gross.
Food safety. Danger zone.
Amoebas.
So I'm walking by, they're like scooping fucking fish into cups. And the guy looks at me and goes, "Now do you see why I needed so many people?" And gesturing towards the line. And I literally went, "You need 15 people to scoop fish in a cup?"
Yeah.
I was like, how stupid are you that it takes 15 people to, and I just like lost because
someone was drunk with power.
and also someone was drunk. But he had screamed in my face.
Yes.
So I started yelling at him, and I like called him like small for like yelling at women so that he feels powerful. Right. And I said, I feel bad for your wife and children because you probably make their lives hell.
Joke's on you. I'm alone.
Well, no, they were standing next to him and they did not care for me. But I was like, this woman doesn't even know she's trapped. And I made a whole scene and I got kicked out. So now I can't go to that restaurant because I have beef.
Yeah. I will say this, not to be on the man side because gross. If I would have volunteered for any kind of job, I would have been like 15, get some people on the street, bring 17.
Yeah.
Make it 20.
Who
I
cares?
don't care. What are you going to fire me from a job that's not real?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because the person who asked me to volunteer was the only person giving me stand-up spots at the time. So I needed.
You didn't say that.
Yeah.
That's a different
story.
So
I needed.
Yeah.
There was
I understand that a little bit
There was an
more.
exchange happening.
Right.
Yeah.
If we could do a map of every place in New York City where we each of us had beef,
I mean, it would just be all Red Dot.
There
would
are
be
a
big
few
Red
restaurants that I am not welcome in.
Right.
Did I
Right.
If there was a citizen app for areas that we have caused trouble, whole city.
Literally, like there are bars the other day I was at a bar and I was like, I fucked the guy who lives upstairs, and then he came down and was like, "You and your friends are laughing at me. I can hear you outside." And I was like, we're really just trying to have a good time, but we are laughing at you.
Where are you banned from?
I'm not banned from. There was a restaurant, and I may or may not have spent some time with the chef owner.
Spent a little time,
and he did know that I do not like peas.
Mm-hmm.
And I did order a
Which
dish
is your right.
a few months after maybe I had ended contact.
Sure.
And I did get one plate of 1 million peas.
Oh, ew.
Oh my
bitch
God.
move.
I don't want to name
You're
names,
welcome.
But,
I would have
So you know what I did?
the peas across
so
the
what I did was I
dining
ate
room.
the other things out of the plate, and then I sent the peas back to the kitchen and asked the chef to wrap them up.
Amazing.
Icon.
And then he sent them back, and then
we're not on friendly terms.
You would have seen a million peas flying across the dining room.
Yeah.
I
embraced it. I was like, this is great.
See, free peas.
Yeah.
Love it.
And this is why you're more dissociated, is that you're just like, great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. I am banned from a gay bar in
obviously
Lower Manhattan.
Famously
banned from the Boiler Room.
Famously.
And shout out to it.
Is that a gay bar?
Yes.
What does it mean? Boiler room? Because I've been there many times. I did not know this.
I don't know.
I was like, there's no like girls here.
And let me tell you, that did not stop me from trying to fuck a gay
at this
man.
time in Andrea's life, she was like, there's no like girls here.
I know. I was like, ew,
I'm the only one. I'm gonna clean up tonight.
Yeah, I'm so special.
Dick City, population me.
Some guy hit on my friend, and
Dick City's a great name for a gay bar.
Dude,
anyway, go ahead, sorry.
Boiler Room. If you're here listening to this, let's do a rebrand. Dick City. I'll do your social media. Let's bury the hatchet.
So what did you do?
Some gross pig was hitting on my friend, and I'm not saying gross pig because he was unattractive. He was just not being demure.
Nice.
He was not being cutesy. It was very Heavy-handed.
Sweaty.
Yeah, and my friend was...
You know when someone's like aura is sweaty?
Oh, yeah.
course.
Yeah. It was just like he was like sliding around.
Right.
This is what I mean.
And I was like, get out of here with this shit. And my friend was politely rebuffing him.
Right.
But to the point that this guy kept asking us to play pool. And I was like, not only will we not play pool,
Ooh.
I will pour alcohol all over the pool table.
Right.
As a statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is maybe a
okay,
little
so
step.
here's the thing.
A
You
little
guys
step
are
in the wrong
telling
direction.
stories.
Right.
You know, Lizzy, I've already told you that your story, I would have not enforced any rules.
Right.
Andrea, I would have also banned you from my establishment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It costs a lot of money to refelt a pool table.
Turns out,
did you know that?
Turns out,
You're
felt
not
is
even
actually,
supposed to put your drink near it.
Right. Yeah. A whole Bud Light on there.
Yeah.
Turns out not.
How much money did they?
They didn't. They did not. They could have absolutely.
Actually, kind of nice of them to simply ban you.
100%. They could have pursued legal action.
Kind of girl behavior of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. No, the gays were allies in that moment. And then there was a hot bartender on my way out. I was like, you want to fucking get out of here? And it was like, lady.
And you weren't even
Enough.
drunk. You just talked like that.
Come off it.
This couldn't be more desperate.
Yeah.
And I was asked to not, if there's a printed out photo of my
Right.
face in that bar, then that is more warranted. And
Right.
I'm sorry. And we can settle something outside of court if you want.
Dick City.
Yeah.
Dick
Dick City.
City.
Let's do
Dick
it.
City. Let's rebrand.
Dick City, bitch.
But Only in New York was a fantastic podcast, and I love doing it with you specifically.
Very specifically.
Very specifically
with you. I also enjoyed it very specifically with you.
We wanted to do a little Only in New York spinoff because
Yeah.
people have asked about this podcast coming back so often,
Right.
and we both do 75 podcasts, so we can't.
Yeah, we also had to give a very political answer, like how I did. And I
Right.
said, hey guys, thank you so much for listening. This will be our last episode because this has been a limited run podcast.
Right.
Tracy's PR spins
Yeah.
legendary.
Did you like that?
Oh my God.
It's like Fleabag, you know? Like
Yeah.
everyone wanted more, but you don't get more.
You
That's
don't get
what the
more.
show is.
You can't
Yeah.
get more.
You-
And I can't tell you why.
Yeah.
But you can't because it is 1 year. And
Yeah.
you know that every podcast expires.
Right.
And that's why.
To everything there's
And
a
that's
season.
definitely why.
And other generic phrases.
And that's definitely why Reddit.
That don't really-
The sun
Hey,
rises
Reddit.
and sets.
Yes.
Hey Reddit.
Hey, Reddit.
That's why. And
It's-
Andrea and I, we have a limit of how many podcasts we could do.
That's
and we
true.
optimized out podcasts that have less than 1,500 listeners. And that's why we didn't return to certain podcasts.
I wish you could also be a lawyer. That would be incredible.
I know. I
When
think you could, like, you know, the show Suits where that guy pretends to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you could do that.
Yeah.
So my new thing, real quick,
Yes, please.
I am a plastic surgeon,
I mean,
but
Tracy did
Yeah.
my tits.
I specialize in corrective plastic surgery.
Love
Like
that.
Botched.
I've watched every episode of Botched,
Bitch,
and that's where I got my degree.
love Botched.
I got my degree at Botched. I am ready. Listen, when your tits separate
Sure. As
and
they
start
will.
migrating,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to craft you a internal corset made of pigskin.
I love this.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to, you know,
Yeah.
I
watch
know.
Botched.
I
Yeah.
love this.
And I'm going to sew it to the inside of your tit skin. And it's going to be amazing. And listen,
It's going to be beautiful.
I did just recently learn how to cauterize. So that's like how I'm going to control
Sure,
the bleeding.
sure. To cauterize.
I have not learned the anesthesia part.
No, but that's an anesthesiologist.
Just do
That's a different guy.
Dayquil. Can't we just do a little bit of Dayquil, a little bit of NyQuil?
Now I got to get another guy involved. You know what I mean? It's like
but you
I
can just
kinda-
get an anesthesiologist.
Can you learn anesthesia?
Off
Yeah, I'll do it.
Craigslist.
I
Okay.
already know it. I'm a drug addict. I know it.
I'll do the front desk.
I know
Lizzy's
drugs.
like-
I know drugs. I got
Lizzy's
it.
like
I-
one
it's good.
OxyContin is good for the surgery.
Listen, you might feel it, but you won't remember
She's
it.
like, actually, if you
So-
snort it, if you snort it,
you're good.
We have Dog Xanax available.
We have dog Xanax. I can
It will.
inject you with dog Xanax.
Okay, well,
You'll be
I
asleep
love
the
this.
whole time.
This is-
Again, you might feel pain, but you won't
But you
remember
won't
a
be-
thing. And then if you don't remember it, did you feel it?
Yeah, and life is all pain and other generic phrase.
And other
Right.
generic
Like we've
phrases.
never been in
yeah,
pain before.
Yeah, come on.
So I just believe that you do not have to go to school for anything that you want to do.
Well, this is
Yeah.
another thing on the pod. We found out Tracy has had every job in
just
the book.
start doing it.
Yeah, and you don't. Jobs are fake. Just show up.
Jobs are,
Yeah.
here's the
And-
thing. Jobs are real. Education is fake.
100%.
Yes.
College is a scam.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
If you there were doctors.
Thank you. I didn't go.
There were doctors before there were colleges.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what happened there?
I know,
Yeah.
and so many things that doctors do are literally just like what you would
Right.
do.
Do you know how many
Right.
times I've gone to the doctor and my takeaway was the doctor told me to feel better?
Yes.
Right. Right. every day. Advil.
That's it.
How about Advil?
Have you tried a hot and a warm cold compress and
and by the way, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Ice it?
Have you iced it or have you put heat on it?
Have you done both?
Have you
Rotating?
taken some anti-inflammatories?
Oh, fuck you, anti-inflammatory.
It's gonna bring the swelling down.
Oh, nothing's bringing shit down.
I literally yesterday was like trying to explain to my boyfriend that like the reason you feel pain is swelling, and if you take an Advil, it's an anti-inflammatory. And like, listen, I've watched every episode of Grey's Anatomy up until when Derek dies. I don't watch after that, but I've watched every season of Grey's Anatomy literally 15 times. I am a doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. We should open a practice. Do you do any doctor stuff?
Yeah, of course I do. You're talking to the hypochondriac.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I listen.
Do you have AIDS?
You know what you could do is you could like upsell people by freaking them out.
Yes, I'm like Kaposi sarcoma is actually an early sign of AIDS.
And then I'll be like, I'll cut it out of you.
Is that a rash, or did you have sex without a condom?
I specialize in, as you know, in gynecology.
Right.
Dabble in dermatology.
Of course.
You're a pussy engineer.
I do a little inside, a little outside. And then, newly I have gotten certified. I'm a board uncertified plastic surgeon.
Board uncertified. Board uncertified.
Yeah.
I do corrective plastic surgery. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a board uncertified cardiologist.
Yes.
Ooh, I need a cardiologist.
I got you.
Okay, maybe we could do something.
Yeah,
I'm a board uncertified psychologist, which is a hilarious canard.
I think my psychologist is a board uncertified psychologist.
Yeah.
It's also funny when people are like, I love when you're vulnerable about your mental health. Like, it helps me.
As if I have a fucking choice.
Yeah, and I'm like,
but also,
brother, don't let me help you.
Yeah.
But are you being vulnerable about it, or are you just
having an episode?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't have a choice. I'm just saying that I don't feel good.
Yeah. But also, listen, subscribe. I'm your best friend.
Right.
We're your doctors now.
Right. Yes.
You don't need anyone else.
What would
isolate yourself from your family?
I'm so glad.
Dump all your friends. Isolate yourself from your family. You don't need anyone other than us.
Don't go outside. I love that this podcast got renewed for another season.
I know.
And thank God.
It's great.
Thank God.
What would the name of our clinic be? Cut it off?
Yeah, that's great.
That's when you cut it off.
That's when you cut it off.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
We can have the commercials from like the local news, the local TV commercials of us being like, do you have a bump or a lump that you don't know what it is?
Thank you, Dr. Zizmore.
Dr. Zizmore! Dr. Zizmore is cutting it off at every turn.
I mean, I think I've talked about this on many podcasts, but Denise Machado, thank you, Dr. Zizmore, no more dark spots.
Yeah.
Her mother was my art teacher, so that's my claim to fame. I actually need to start putting that in my bio.
Oh my God.
Also, I will say this: if you need workers' comp, come in. I'll sign whatever. I'll sign literally anything. I love time theft,
dude. We love slip and falls here at When You Cut It Off. We'll do a slip and fall all day, all night.
You could say cut it off, right? So my advice is: did you eat?
Right.
Did you eat? Did you drink water? Did you drink water?
And of course I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go home and you need to eat something and you need to drink some water and you need to take a nap and then you need to call me and let me know if you still feel this way.
Call your mother.
Yeah.
Call me.
Or as my mother would say, did you stretch? My mother is big into the stretching.
Yeah. My dad was, you got to drink a glass of water. I'd be like, Dad, my whole world is crumbling. And he'd be like,
you must drink
Did you drink a glass of water?
It does help a little.
Did you drink a glass of water?
Yeah, I know.
Now that I have an ice machine, I drink so much more water.
Oh, that's so slay.
Absolutely. Do you have a nugget ice machine?
Bitch,
or like
yes.
The crushed ones?
Yes.
Me
the
too.
crunchy.
I do too.
Fuck, I gotta get on this.
No, but I don't have pica, but I like ice.
Okay, I don't have pica either, but I do have low iron, and it does make you want to crunch on ice.
Yeah, I just like I like a cold iced matcha.
I don't know a bitch in this world. If you don't have low iron, we're not friends.
I don't have low iron. I have very high iron, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
Well, but the point is, we don't know any women who have regular iron.
Yeah, I have very high iron. They were like, you should donate blood. I was like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. I'm actually good on that.
Okay.
All right, so only in New York, we're going to give you a little teaser since you've been fiending for it. We have Tracey here.
I'm here.
We're going to give you a little bite because, who doesn't want a little bite? Who doesn't want to fucking cut it off?
Oh, nosh.
Lizzy has an Only in New York
So now
source.
I'm the guest.
You're the guest.
Thanks
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming to the show.
having me, you guys.
Thanks for being here. I love this.
What a beautiful studio.
I hope this doesn't crumble.
Yeah.
I hope we're all still friends after this.
Yeah.
This is my story. It's crazy. This is like
Sounds
my
crazy.
craziest New York story. When I was like 20 or 21, I lived in Crown Heights and I was just high all the time.
That's such a starter neighborhood for women who
Very
are lost.
starter.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's very like, I want to live in Brooklyn, but I don't know anything about
But I
Brooklyn.
can't live in real Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to live in Williamsburg, so I'm going to live in Crown Heights and just like actively gentrify a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I was doing that and I had to go buy weed. So I went to buy weed for my friend. I'm coming home. I'm in the Ralph C train subway station.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the Ralph Lauren store, but go ahead.
Is that Ralph
Kind
Lauren?
of very much the opposite.
right.
Yeah,
It's
Ralph's
like-
brutal.
It's probably like 1 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly because I was high out of my mind, but vibes wise,
Sure.
Right.
it was like 1 a.m. on a weekday. So there's like nobody around. There's standing on my side of the platform. There's me and a man. And then I can't see the rest of the people because there's like a staircase.
Yeah.
Where you're
And
high.
then across from me, and I'm high. And then I'm famously blind.
Yeah.
And then across from me on the other side, waiting for the train going the other way, is a woman my age. Okay. So we're standing there waiting for the train, and I hear a woman scream
Right.
down the platform past where I can see.
And it was
And-
me and Tracy.
And it was you guys. And
You're
that's how we all became
like,
friends.
Yeah.
This bitch is
I was
screaming.
like,
It's so
again?
late.
So me and the woman across from me make eye contact, and the man doesn't even look up from his phone.
Sure.
And we just sort of start, and she's like
Well, he has gay porn
continuously
to
screaming.
watch.
She's like screaming.
Great.
Yeah.
So we sort of start like slowly walking towards the sound because we're girls.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's a woman, not a woman, she was a girl. She was like 18.
Yeah.
But she's standing in the corner of the other end of the platform. And her boyfriend or whatever, some guy,
Fun.
Sure.
is standing in front of her and her lip is bleeding and she's
Right.
screaming. And me and the other girl are like,
Here we go.
oh, here
Right.
we go.
Yeah.
So we're both kind of like, without talking at all, we both kind of decide that like he's not like actively hitting
Right, he, like,
her right
already
now.
hit
He
her.
just hit
Right.
her.
Like-
Right. So we're like, we're just gonna stand here and watch
Right.
so that he doesn't hit her again.
Right,
because-
because he's going to stop.
And-
Right.
well, also like
He
I
just
don't.
needs to feel
I
embarrassed.
don't want to get
Yeah.
murdered.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah,
So like.
no.
It's
Selfish.
and we're
Yeah.
we're both just like whatever, we have to like stand here at the very least,
Yeah.
and then we'll figure something out. So I'm standing there, and then the girl comes out of the corner, and she goes up to the edge of the subway platform and sits on it with her feet dangling over, and I'm like,
here we go.
oh Christ,
Yeah.
like here
You're
we
going
go.
to scooch onto the tracks.
Yeah.
And like also
yes.
like I would like to go home, and if you
You
know.
know that if someone gets hit by a train,
It's just gonna take
Right.
forever.
the train's going to be delayed at the station.
Right.
So I'm saying like, so now this is when I fucking pipe up and I go over to her and I'm
You're like,
hey,
absolutely not. We are not all missing the train because
I
your
know
boyfriend
this is
punched
the
you in the
worst night
face.
of your life or whatever.
My boyfriend punches me in the face all the time, and I don't make everyone miss the train.
I mean, your boyfriend punched you in the face and now it's everybody's fucking problem.
Right.
No, so
I'll
If
punch
I
you.
had a-
I'm going to punch you in the face. Come here. Let a lady do it the right way.
So I go over to her, like I'm still kind of far away because he's like being weird in between us. So I'm like kind of far away from her, but I'm like, hey, you should scoot back. Like,
Right.
I was like, we can talk about this, but like, let's just
Kill
scoot
yourself
away from the
later.
tracks
Yeah.
and we can figure something out.
home.
Like, I was like, I
At home
see
in the
him.
privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
Right.
please.
Yeah.
I was like, I see him. I know what's going on. Just like scoot back and we can talk or whatever. And she is in a tunnel. She cannot hear me.
Yeah.
She's not listening to me. I'm not getting
She's
through to her.
literally and figuratively in a tunnel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Everyone's one mental health crisis away from being in a tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she starts like scooting off the edge of the platform.
Right, right.
Ugh.
So I yell to the girl across. I go, run upstairs and tell them to stop the train. And this bitch takes off like a bat out of hell. Shout out to her. She
Ugh.
runs up the stairs.
Yeah.
And by the time I look back, the woman in question is on the tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so this is a full-blown nightmare because honestly, I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys.
Please.
The only thing going through my head is if I watch this bitch get squished by a train, my life will be different forever.
Yeah.
And I cannot live with that.
Yeah.
So like, I must intervene, not like.
I don't need another thing to think about.
Right.
Right.
And like, I'm not
There's
even.
already the rapes.
Right.
Right. And I'm just like, everything in my head is like, I have to stop this because, of course, like this woman will die, but also I will never Get over this.
Right.
Like
Again, in the privacy of your own home.
Right.
Right. My brain will be fucking mush forever if I
And
have
so
to
will
do
hers.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
So so the other girl's going up there to stop the train. I like go over to the edge of the tracks where she is. Her boyfriend's yelling at me. I'm not listening to him. And I'm just trying to be like, give me your hand.
Right.
It's going to be okay. We can deal with this. Like, well, whatever's bothering you, we can talk about it. And she's like, obviously having a mental health crisis.
No.
So all she's talking about is that her shoes are hurting her feet. Like
Okay, honestly,
Yeah.
and I
Have
get
you-
that.
Yeah.
have you never had shoes that hurt your feet so bad that you want to throw yourself in
No,
front of a
I
train?
know.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I'm going to wear the
get
heel.
this.
Mistake.
But weirdly, she was wearing like Timbs. They weren't even heels, but whatever.
Oh God, but they
So-
are the secret killer.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
break those in.
So she's like saying her shoes are hurting her feet, and I'm like, I'm like 20. I'm like, we can get you new
You're
shoes.
not gonna have feet, but you're not gonna have feet in like
I'm
4
like,
minutes.
I'm like, you can
Let's
have my
go
shoes. We can we can figure this
Bitches,
out.
go to Zappos.
We got this. We can get shoes.
Let's go
you know?
shopping.
So I'm talking to her about the fucking shoes. She's not listening to me. She's in her own world. She's completely like in crisis. And then the other girl runs back down across from me and like signals to me that the train's not coming. She's like, they stopped the train.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, let her.
She's
lay on
like,
the
I got
fucking
you.
track.
We're good. So I'm like, slay. Okay, train's not coming. Whatever. So
But you're like, is my train coming though? 'Cause I'm
right,
going
and
the
also,
other
Right.
will it
way.
eventually come?
You're like,
Yeah.
will you pay for my Uber?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, let's get off the tracks. Whatever.
Was she close to the
But-
third rail?
Well, here's what happened.
Okay.
She like
Great.
also figured out that the train wasn't coming. So
Typical New Yorker.
Yeah.
It's like great.
she's like, it's been a minute. I know the sketch. So she took her shoes off and started
No.
walking towards the third rail. And I was like, oh my God, she's gonna fucking like,
now you're
Light
gonna,
it up.
Yeah.
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 And
You're gonna
that's
fry.
like,
Yeah.
and now I have to like smell your barbecued skin every
Right.
night in my dreams for the rest of my life. That just is like horrible. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is like insane, but I was like, okay, I gotta do something. So
You should have been like, they also shut the third rail off.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
yeah.
Ha! They shut all the power off. Ha!
The whole grid's down.
Yeah.
The whole system's down.
Great.
So I don't know why, but I got down on the tracks.
Dude, this is such an 18-year-old thing to do.
Yeah.
Because I would
I
have
would
done
have been
the
like, well,
same.
that is not my problem anymore.
Yes.
I
Which
know.
is correct.
but
but-
I'm in.
yeah.
I'm like in, and I'm like, my like heart is breaking. Like I know it's like I am like trying to be funny about this horrible story, but like my heart is breaking for this girl, and I don't want to watch her kill herself.
Okay,
and
so
like
you get on the
somebody has, and
This is
also, but
wild.
also I know the train's not coming.
Right,
Right.
but still, it's still
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
I know,
It
I
is-
know.
There's a lot of dirt.
Rats.
It was disgusting.
So the rats are fine. It's the germs.
So
Oh, big time, the germs.
right.
Yeah.
So I get on the tracks, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, I don't want to touch her because then if she touches it and it like
Right.
gets me,
Right.
so I'm like,
Sure.
but I'm just trying to like talk to her.
Choo choo.
And
You're
then-
like, I'm not stupid. I went to science class.
yeah, I know about conductive, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, you're all right.
so thank you so much. So I'm on the
Scientist.
tracks, and I hear. By the way, the whole time the abusive guy, is like yelling at her and calling her stupid and saying she's being dramatic.
In his
In
Yeah.
his defense,
Yeah.
she was being stupid, but I just don't think that's like what was needed.
Don't
at the
write
moment.
a check where you can't
Was it my
cash,
mom on the
bitch.
tra-
Yeah.
going, relax.
It's fine.
You're so
Oh
dramatic.
God, it's always something.
Your brother keeps it together.
Well.
So
Question mark about
I
that.
mean, so he's calling her stupid, whatever, and then he says something. I forget what he says, but he says something about their baby.
Great.
And this is
Great.
when I like. Okay, here's the thing. I've watched a lot of TV.
Yeah.
This is when I snapped into like every cop show I've ever seen, like talking down like a hostage
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
I was like, I actually have all, like we talked about just before. I was like, I do have all the necessary skills to execute this.
Sure.
So I go.
Sexually based offenses.
So she's walking towards the third rail, and I go, tell me about your baby.
smart. Yeah.
And that was the first thing that got her to
Cool.
listen to me.
Yeah.
Because you snapped her out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a normal voice, you didn't tell her what to do.
Yeah.
You
Right.
were like, let's talk about something else.
Something else
Right.
and something that you care about.
Yeah.
So I was like, tell me about your baby. And she starts telling me like he's like 18 months old, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. Like
You were like, actually, keep going.
she's
Right.
I know. I'm like, well, we don't need more men
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
But she's like talking to me as if we met at a coffee shop.
Sure.
She's just like
Psychotic
telling
and
me about
heartbreaking.
I
her
love
Yeah.
this.
baby.
No,
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want your baby to grow up with him? Because I was like,
Yeah.
if you
Good
do what you're
point.
thinking right now, your baby is going to grow up with him
Right.
and not you. And I don't think that that's what you want.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's not what I want. And I was like, great. So what we're going to do next is get out of here, and then we'll figure out everything else after that.
Yeah.
But right now, all we have to do is
let's
get
go
out of
shoe
here.
shopping.
Yeah.
Literally, let's go shoe shopping. So now the train is like very, very slowly approaching. Like the conductor is like, I fucking see you.
Yeah,
like he's like signaling like, we're okay.
That's still so scary.
But it's so scary. And it's like when you've never been down there, you don't realize how fucking big the train is.
Like, do you have the upper body strength to pull yourself
and this is
up?
what happened.
That's what my problem would have been.
So
Huge
when
question.
you're
down.
Yeah.
When you're standing on the platform,
Yes,
you
you
don't
can.
really realize how deep
It's very deep.
the tracks
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So I finally get this fucking woman to like snap out of it. She's like ready to get
Right.
off the tracks, and I grab her hand and we turn and we can't. It's
No,
too
you can't.
hot.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's like you literally have
Well,
to
now
like
we live
put your
here.
arms straight over your head and do a full pull up, and I just have never in my life been
No,
able to
me
do
neither.
that.
I can't even do monkey bars.
Yeah.
Right. So we had to get the abusive boyfriend,
Great.
Oh,
who's
God.
jacked, by the way.
They're
Obviously.
always
Okay, but no one
jacked.
calls the cops because this is a long story.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
not
so
once.
and it's not over. So he has to get down in the tracks too and like give us each a boost.
Okay, and then he stays down on the tracks and you tell the train to go.
Right.
That would have been ideal.
You make eye contact with
Yeah,
the
you're
guy
like,
and you
"Go
go.
ahead." You're like, no one's there.
Yeah.
He's poo. Get over here. So he like gets both of us out, and then two cops come down on the other side because I think because the girl from the other side had gone up and told them to stop it, they assumed whatever was happening was on that side. So two cops come down on the other side, and I literally
Cops do a lot of assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally see the cops turn around and the guy's gone. The boyfriend's absolutely vanished into thin air.
Okay.
Which honestly, at this point, I'm like
I don't
so
blame
glad
him if
he's
you
not
see
here.
the cops. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he deserves whatever's coming in, but I'm
May
You
have
did-
had a prior.
Yeah.
right.
You did bad boy.
Also,
Yeah.
he was like visibly beating his girlfriend.
Sure.
So like whatever
But was he in a bad mood?
and right
You know?
and did his team lose?
Right.
So.
And was
you
she
know.
doing everything she could to keep the house together?
Right.
Right.
So he evaporates, and
Did she buy him the pork chops that were not organic?
Oh
Right.
my god.
Was he trying to have gay sex?
Right.
Was
And
he
she
trying to
got
have
in
gay
the
sex?
way. Of
Did
that.
he need the car to go get a haircut?
Did she
Right.
forget to pay his bills?
Did he
Right.
lose his fantasy football team?
Right. And these are all valid questions.
Is he in love
sir.
with his best friend?
Right. Is he cheating on you with someone from work?
Right. So he's gone. I have this like person in my life.
Yeah.
So I like grab her arm and I'm like, let's just go upstairs. We can talk upstairs. Cause she's also like, she sees the cops and she's like, I don't want anything to do with the fucking
Right.
cops. And I'm like,
Fair.
I get that.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I was just buying drugs.
Sure.
I have drugs on me.
Right. And this is when drugs were,
This
were
is when
illegal.
drugs
Yeah,
were illegal,
yeah.
and I don't know if a lot of you remember that.
And
but at one
cool.
point, they were illegal.
Yeah.
I have a very much illegal amount of marijuana
We
on
just
me.
dated ourselves.
Yeah.
And by the way, other stuff too.
Oh.
So, I
Other
mean, like,
stuff.
yeah.
Hey.
So I'm like, yeah, bitch, we're not going to talk to the cops. So I'm like, let's just go upstairs. Let's just like get the fuck out of here and we can figure it out. So I take her upstairs. We get to the top of the stairs and there's like, I mean, a million cops.
Yeah.
Like every fucking
But no
cop,
one came downstairs.
But no one
Right.
came downstairs.
Well,
Nobody
stand around.
By the way, they've all been there for a while. None of them got on the fucking tracks to help lift her off. None of them did any of the shit I did. They're all just waiting upstairs for us to come up. So we go up. She's like visibly like, by the way, between her first getting on the tracks and now, her demeanor's changed completely. She was obviously like having an episode and it ended. So she's like chill now. She's like a regular person. But we get to the top of the stairs, see all these cops, and she like turns white. She's so fucking scared.
Right.
I totally get that. I mean, I'm sure getting on the tracks is like illegal or whatever, but because mental health is illegal.
Yeah.
So like mental illness is illegal in New York and in the country. But anyway, so we're facing all these cops, and I like grabbed her arm and I was like, it's gonna be okay. We're just gonna leave.
I would have been
And then-
like, did you see those two crazy bitches downstairs?
Yeah.
Did you see that
They were
guy?
in the guys. There's someone in the
There's
track.
someone in the tracks. You must go down there. So I'm like, just keep walking, whatever. And then the cops stop her and are asking her for her ID. And actually, before they stopped her, I said to her, I was like, don't say anything to them. Whatever they ask you, don't say anything to them.
Yeah.
And the cops are asking her for her ID, and she just keeps going, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have one. I don't have it. And they're like, we need your ID. And she's like, I don't have it. And they're like, okay, well, I guess there's nothing we can do then, which is hilarious. Like they
Right.
immediately don't know what to do. So we go out of the station. Now we're above ground, and there's even more cops.
Oh, very many.
I love it.
So it's like
Upstairs.
there's a lot
It's a cop
happening in this
party.
fucking
Right.
city,
And you
this
find
is,
out it's just the Puerto Rican Day Parade and everything's fine.
It's
and
a
we're
pizza
all-
party.
like every taxpayer dollar in the city has been allocated to arresting this woman who's having a mental health crisis.
Also,
So like,
by the way, there is such a crazy switch between you're an 18-year-old hanging out by yourself, doing your whole buying drugs, I'm a young girl thing, to I'm this woman's social worker and the only person she has in this world.
and thank you for acknowledging that, because I mean, I'm shitting my pants.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
have no idea what I'm doing.
You're like, we're both going to get arrested.
Yes.
So,
So,
no big
but
deal.
if there are two things I know, it's how to get away with crime and how to be mentally ill.
Right.
So I'm not
Famously.
like completely out of my depth here.
No,
you know?
you're more qualified than the
You're her
cops.
one-to-one.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
this.
So there's a million cops, whatever. I'm talking to them. She is kind of like another cop is talking to her, trying to get her to go in the
Trying
ambulance
to like
to go to
push
the
her or
hospital.
hassle her or something.
And they're basically saying that if she doesn't get in the ambulance, they're going to have to arrest her. And she's just like confused and asking them questions. Meanwhile, I'm talking to another cop. So I'm talking to this cop and he's like asking me how I know her. And I'm like, I don't know her. And then I'm like, she's fine.
She's part of the womanhood.
I was like, her boyfriend was beating her. He's gone. She's fine now. She just needs to go home to the Bronx.
Mhm.
And they go, well, we can't let her get back on the train. And I was like, totally.
Well, yeah.
I was like,
I guess.
totally understandable.
Okay, on that one, yeah.
I was like, we all agree with that.
She's not doing great with trains these
Right.
days.
But I go, can somebody drive her to the Bronx?
Sure.
And they go, well, we're
Ooh.
Brooklyn police.
Yeah, over the bridge.
yeah.
So we can't. But if you want to get her a car, you can do that. And I literally said to this guy, I go, well, what's interesting is you guys are Brooklyn police, but I'm not any police.
Right. Right.
So I feel like out of the two of us,
Wait, so you're not
This
even
is
a cop?
more-
You're like, I actually am a criminal.
Yeah.
Right.
I have drugs
Right.
on me.
Yeah.
so I go, so out of the two
If
of
I
us,
didn't just spend all my money on crack cocaine,
maybe
I
I'd
would
be
have
able to
gotten
get her a fucking Uber,
Yeah.
but I did. And here we are.
I'm kind of low. Can you hold it
I'm
for
literally
me?
seeing 14 of you right now. It's possible there were 6 cops there and I was just high out of my mind, but it felt like a million. So
Yeah.
I said, I'm not any police. So I think between the two of us, this is more your job than
It's
it
like,
is
can you
mine.
call the Bronx cops when you get to the border?
Right.
Right. Like there
Like, meet
there
in the middle of the
simply
bridge.
must be
Can
a
we do an
way.
exchange?
Like Miranda and Steve meet
Or
in the middle of the bridge.
you have to fucking be responsible for letting her get back on the train because she cannot afford to take an Uber home.
Has a cop
And now
never
she's
left
stranded.
the border? This is a good question for the
Yes.
police out there. Have you never left your perimeters?
Right.
Right.
Well, there's like a wire.
'Cause on TV you
around.
do.
It's like the Hasidic Jews.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the wire around
Exactly.
the community.
Yes.
The
Exactly.
cops also have
They have the wire.
wire.
And that's what the show
Burrow
The Wire
wires.
is named after. They can't leave Baltimore. So
And why would you want to?
And why
Do you
would
think
you
it's
want
like an
to?
electric fence?
Yeah.
But only for cops?
Yeah, it's like that little dog thing that they get shocked.
By the
Do you
way,
think that do you think that that's what that is on their
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's
and
their
they're like,
electric fence.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, that's just your shock collar.
I don't want to leave Queens.
By the
That's
way-
why they have to wear a turtleneck.
Yes.
By the way,
cover
speaking
their
of
shot.
Baltimore,
I love
oh,
when
this
they
comes
wear
out
a
after. Never
turtleneck.
mind. I was like, speaking of Baltimore, I'll be there this weekend, but this comes out after. Speaking of Baltimore, I was just there. Lovely.
How
you
was
guys were
it?
lovely.
Great to see you.
You guys were lovely. Thanks for
It was
coming
good?
out.
Yeah.
Lovely city.
Wow, sold
Okay.
out. Crazy.
Yeah.
Sold out. Great show. Hot show. Anyway, so doing plugs in the middle of the
Yeah,
story of
yeah.
the worst night of this
I'm
woman's life.
probably going to be in Jersey in the next 6 months. Just putting
Wow.
that out here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely
So-
not going to be in Jersey in the next
December
6 months.
20th,
That's actually in my contract.
December 20th, Hamilton, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fayetteville, Virginia.
So
Wow.
done that.
Yeah.
Not
So
fun.
spe- so specific.
So I'm talking to the cop, whatever. He's like, we can't take her. I'm like, I can't take her. What do we do?
It's like, don't you know any Uber drivers, cops?
And,
Right.
So I literally said to this cop's face, I go, there has to be a plan for this.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, you can't tell me that there's no
There has to be
plan
a
for
way.
this.
Right.
So he goes, the only option is for us to arrest her or
she
for
goes to
us
the
to get in
hospital.
or for her to get in the ambulance.
Can they
And then
drive
I
her to the Bronx?
Right.
In the ambulance.
Can she lay down
Right.
Right.
while she gets a ride to the Bronx?
This
Right.
is so
and then I
luxurious.
look over and some cop is trying to like force her into the ambulance and now she's freaking out again. So I go, let me talk to her.
Yeah.
I was like, let me talk to her. I'll figure this out because there's 40 of you here and you're all
Right.
fucking useless.
You know what's great when you've been abused by men? A bunch of men pushing you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they
That's
yell
actually-
very loud.
yeah,
and
exactly.
They
That's
threaten
actually
you
Which
with
literally
legal
is why I was
with
like,
guns.
I was like, I'll
with
talk to her.
guns.
And also, do you think the thing that's going to make her do what you want her to do is to scream in her face? She's terrified.
Yeah.
My mom trained
How
these
about,
cops.
I know.
Yeah.
I
My
know.
mom works at the police academy.
But
My
like,
ex-boyfriend
on Second
trained
Avenue.
these cops.
it's incredible that I was the first person to be like, what if someone just had a conversation with her,
Right. That's
and asked her
wild.
how she was feeling?
What are you, a
What if
communist?
you just let her go home?
Right.
Yeah.
So I went up to her and I was like, here's what's going on. They're either going to arrest you or you have to get in the ambulance. Don't freak out. Like, before I finished the sentence, I was like, don't freak out. Listen to what I have to say.
Or you could pay for an Uber going home. She's like, I will get arrested. Thank
Well,
you.
we already
Yeah.
talked about that.
Brooklyn to the Bronx? No thanks.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't have a phone. She didn't have anything. So I'm like, okay, great. I cannot afford to get you an Uber. Whatever.
I
So,
hope she's alive.
so I'm like,
Question mark.
I was like, here, and I don't know how true this is, but I go, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get in the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take you to a hospital. They're going to give you a pill that makes you feel amazing. And then they're going to give you a sandwich and you're going to sleep in a clean bed. And then
that's
tomorrow,
jail, I think.
Well, that's
Yeah.
also the hospital. But I was like,
They give you a sandwich at the hospital?
yeah.
What kind of sandwich?
It depends on what they have left.
Like a tuna salad, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm like, take me to jail.
When I went,
Ceviche.
When I
First
went
of all,
for-
I am gluten free. Absolutely not.
when I went for detox, I got turkey and cheese.
That's the best of the
So,
sandwiches.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, they're going to give you a sandwich. They're going to give you a bed to sleep in.
Right.
And then you can figure out how to get home tomorrow.
Sure.
But
What'd
I
she
was
say?
like, it's either that or you go to jail tonight.
Right.
And I think you'd rather go
To the
in the
hospital.
ambulance.
And your boyfriend's going to beat the baby.
Right. And if you have a
that's
UTI or
fine.
something, like, just have them check it out.
Right.
And
Get
I
a
was
quick
like, you don't have,
pap.
I go, you don't have your ID. They don't know who you are. You
Get a
aren't going to
mammogram.
have
Yeah.
to pay for this. Like, I was like, nobody knows who you are. You don't have to pay for
Right.
this. Just get in the ambulance. And then she goes, okay, I'll get in the ambulance. And I'm like, okay, we're done. And she goes, if you come with me.
Yes!
Ah! And here's the thing.
No!
You did the good person thing, and you
you said, bitch, you're on your own, and you ran.
because
Of course I wanted to leave. All I wanted
You
was
should have
to
left.
leave.
Sorry. I just got so
Yeah,
violent.
well, because you're riddled with guilt, and also
I
this
know.
woman is looking at you like you're an angel from
You're
heaven.
riddled
I know.
with-
and
you're
you're
riddled
like,
with guilt and crack cocaine.
And
Yes.
crack cocaine. And I'm just like, I just need this to fucking be over. So I go, yeah, I'll get in the
Of
Do, we
course.
have, now, do you know each other's names at this point?
She told me her name. I don't remember it. I think it might have been Victoria.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, Victoria.
Something like that. So
she
I'm
is
like,
needy. I'm like,
She is
maybe-
being
did they give you a sandwich too?
well, here's what happens.
Okay.
I get in the ambulance with her. By the way, the EMTs, shout out to them.
EMTs are-
Completely different vibe. They
EMTs
were
are- oh, yeah.
so fucking
They're
chill
very
and
nice.
cool. They were telling her all the shit I was telling her. They were like, this is just like what happens.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Ugh.
So, clearly you're having a bad night.
Right.
Happens to the best of us. We're chilling. And she was like, they were like, are you hurt? And she was like, my feet hurt because her shoes were hurting. They like check out her
I feel her.
feet. They
Yeah.
they like
She's
put
like, can
shit
you give
on
me a
her.
massage?
Yeah, they like put shit on her cuts on her face. They're like
Oh.
we're all kind of like kikiing in the back of the ambulance. Like the EMT guy is chill and like
She gets a pedicure.
You're
and by
right.
the way, like the EMT guy and I are kind of like, hey,
Like, oh.
and, like we're kind of vibing, and so we all ride to the hospital together, and then we get
It's
out
like an
and-
episode of Girls.
yeah. And she keeps talking about like wanting a cigarette. And so we get to the hospital, we get out of the ambulance, and I go, can I give her a cigarette? And then we can all go inside. And he goes, you can give her a cigarette if you give me a cigarette. And I was like,
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
right.
I have all these drugs in
So,
my
At
bag.
this point, I'm like, I'll give you $1 million to end this. So I give him a cigarette. I give her a cigarette, and I light it. She takes a drag of it, and she goes, I don't want a whole one, and hands it to me, but her lip is bleeding. And I go,
No.
that's yours. I was like, we're
Like,
close.
share it with the
I was
EMT
like,
guy.
we're
Yeah.
close, but absolutely not am I doing that.
Listen, as the HIV specialist,
Yeah.
of
Literally,
this
that's all I
podcast,
was thinking of.
Nope.
I was like, I'm not putting your fucking blood in my mouth.
Yeah. Why not?
Like,
Wow.
haven't I done enough?
Girls, girl.
Oh, you're not even gonna suck
Wow.
a little bit of her blood after
Wow.
what you
I
went
know.
through?
I'm
What
a
a bitch.
misogynistic pig.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever. So we all smoke a cigarette, and then the EMT's like, all right, we got to go inside.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. He was like, I can't have this like report of
He's
you
like,
being.
do you guys want to go inside?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should all go
Should we
inside.
all go inside?
Yeah.
So he's like, I can't have this like report of you being in my ambulance without bringing you inside. And she's like, totally. So she's like, she like grabs my arm and she's like, we have to
How
go
old is she,
inside.
by the way?
She's like 18. I don't know. She's
Yeah,
young. She's very young.
Okay.
She like,
Right.
I mean, her life is tragic. She like doesn't own. She's like has told me in this whole process that she like doesn't own a winter coat. It's
She
like
doesn't
horrible.
have a shot in hell, and you just have to
So-
live with that.
You're like,
Right.
don't worry, New York doesn't even get that cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, global warming. So she like grabs my arm and I don't move,
Right.
and she looks back at me and I go, "This is where I leave you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
As much as I'd love to get admitted to the hospital.
yeah.
I was like, as much as I would love to be there for you all
Same
night, I was
room,
like,
babe.
I was like, I can't go in there.
She's like, what if I get you a sandwich?
I know. She's like, well, you said it'd be nice in there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't go in there.
It won't.
You have
I
to
actually
do this.
legally can't go in there. I had a thing with ceviche. Something about the boiler room. Yada yada yada. I'm banned.
I'm on a list.
I'm banned from the NYU Langone in downtown Brooklyn. So,
I mean, who isn't?
and who isn't?
Yeah.
What self-respecting woman hasn't made a scene in an emergency room?
City MD.
So I'm like, this is where I leave you. And she's like very hesitant. Obviously, like she wants me to come because I'm the only person up until this EMT who's talked to her like a human being. So she asked me for my phone number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I give her my phone number. I write my phone number on her hand.
Yeah.
Great.
And I should have given her a fucking fake one, but whatever.
I know.
No,
So
I like this.
I give her
would
my
have
phone
given her the
number.
real one,
I give her the
too.
phone number. I'm like, I really wish you the best of luck. I'm sorry I can't stay.
She's like, I'll call you in 5 minutes.
Whatever. So
Every 5 minutes and 5 minutes for the rest of your life.
she goes into the hospital room. I go home. I have 2 roommates at the time. I walk in. I open the door to my apartment. They're smoking weed on the. They're smoking like resin on the couch because I had to go get the weed. We're out of weed.
Ew, resin's so
So
scary.
I know. So them and the guy I'm fucking are sitting in my living room smoking
Like, did you get the
resin.
crack cocaine or not?
Yeah.
I opened the door. They said when I opened the door, I was gray. Like my skin was
Yeah.
gray.
Yeah, you were
Worse.
great because you were in a mine.
Yeah.
Yes. I was literally
You were
in
covered
the tunnel.
You
Yes.
were covered in subway ash.
Yes.
Yeah. You were below the Earth's surface.
So I know.
For real.
So I open the door, I look at them, and I turn around and just like puke into the sink. And I'm like officially traumatized. Like none
Yeah.
of the emotion of any of it had hit me until I got to my house.
Yeah.
And also, like, this is probably the longest I've gone without smoking weed in 11 years at this point. So I'm just like freaking the fuck out.
I feel like I'm actually detoxing right now.
Yeah.
I got
I'm
the
like-
shakes real bad.
I'm like having a big time meltdown, and then I get a phone call,
Of course.
and she like listed me as her emergency contact.
Yes. Share her health proxy now.
Yeah.
And so they call
Social
me and they're like asking me like her address and stuff. And I'm like, I literally don't know anything about this woman. I just met her. I was like, can you just like keep her overnight and put her
Keep
in
her
like
forever.
the
Yeah.
mental health, whatever? And they're like, yeah, whatever. We got it. Sorry. We thought you knew her.
Yeah.
Like they're like very much acting like this has happened before.
Of course it has.
I guess in this process, they gave her a phone and she called the boyfriend. And she gave the boyfriend my phone number. Traitor. Because like she had like lost a bag or something and she thought I had it. So I don't remember exactly. So she
Yeah,
like
you're robbing the
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So well she like I don't think she thought that, but whatever.
No, I
So she gives him the phone number. He calls me
That's so scary.
and he's like,
hey, it's Rob.
Yeah.
and he's
From woman beating
and
fame.
he's, you know me, I'm the guy who was punching my fucking girlfriend in the
Wait,
face.
hold on. You remember it was like bleeding, and then you didn't the cigarette. You
Right.
Remember
You
the
remember?
cops?
You don't remember?
Yeah.
So last time you saw me, I was a cloud of dust that
It's
was
Rob
shaped
from
like
last
me
night.
because
Yeah.
I saw a cop. So he calls me,
Right.
By the way, I have guns.
and he's like cursing me out on the phone.
You should be like, I
so
have her back.
scary.
Can you meet me at the
Being
precinct?
like-
We could exchange.
Right.
Yeah.
He's being like, you fucking bitch, you called the cops, and I'm just like at my emotional end, and I fucking lose it on this dude. Meanwhile, my friends and the guy I'm fucking don't know that I'm not talking to the hospital because that's who I thought it was. And I'm like, you fucking piece of shit loser. Like,
Yep.
I wish you fucking died on those like just like screaming the worst things I can think to say to a person.
Kinda
at him.
nice.
I'm like, you don't fucking deserve her. I hope you fucking rot in hell. She takes your baby, blah, blah, blah. Like just like screaming at him. Anyway, he hangs up on me. I'm like,
Why?
I know. I thought this was what he wanted. And I never saw her again. And that's the end.
Do you think she's doing a podcast right now?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Going.
Yeah.
And then one night, Rob punched me in the face. This crazy girl.
This crazy drug addict bitch thought I was trying to
jumps on
kill
her-
myself.
She tries to do a group suicide.
Yeah. This white woman
She's all
called
like,
the
she's
cops.
running towards the third rail.
Yeah. I told her to stop, but she
I offered to
simply
share my
insisted.
sandwich. I offered to share a cigarette.
Oh, she wouldn't even
She
drink
thought
my
I was
blood.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my little New York story.
Only in New York, baby. I wonder why the podcast isn't around anymore.
Right. I mean, one of my New York stories, which I didn't think about until you said Crown Heights and cops, and it brought me back
Oh, wow.
to my Crown Heights cop story.
Oh wait, I forgot one thing.
Yes.
Can I I remember one thing?
Yes. Yeah, go back up.
When I was getting in the ambulance with her, one of the cops hands me his card.
Yeah.
And he goes, if you ever get in trouble, you can use this. And I was like, bitch, it's going to be sooner than you think. Because one of your friends is about to arrest
you got a PBA card on
No, just his card. Like, not a PBA card,
you
just
can't
like
use
his
that.
card.
Yeah, he's like, you could call my house.
Yeah.
So you want me to send you a dick pic?
Yeah.
This
And
is
he
what we'll
goes-
do
This
it.
is, if you ever need a dick pic, like emergency dick pic.
Yeah. And he goes,
I've gotten the same card, by the way.
he goes,
Tracy's gotten more dick pics of cops than
wait, I
anyone
also
in any
have like
borough.
a quick story about that. But anyway, he goes, he goes, how does it feel to, he was like, how does it feel to be the person who did the right thing or something like that? And then I took his card and I said, how does it feel to know that you guys didn't do fucking anything?
You could have just had an Uber.
Yeah.
To his, like, I was like, how does it feel
It's
to
like
know you
$20.
guys didn't do fucking anything to help
$20
this
would have
woman?
saved everyone's life.
Everyone's
And he
time.
goes, well, we called the ambulance. And I go, well, I got on the tracks. And then
Right.
I got in the ambulance. And I was like, fuck you forever. So that was the one thing.
I mean, also, like, the Uber would have cost $50 maybe
Who cares?
at the most.
Who cares? Every cop could have given him $1.
Right. And the cost to the city that this fucking was.
I know.
Like, it's the horribleness of the treatment of this abuse
sandwich.
person.
And the thing is,
You're at
like,
the sandwich.
the
That's
thing is,
$20.
like, in a perfect world, like she did need to go to the hospital.
Sure.
Of course, she needed help.
I mean, we all need
Yes,
to go to the
and this
is
hospital.
what I'm saying.
Why
Like-
don't you come to the? That's when you cut it off clinic, and
we'll fucking pill
cut-
you up.
we'll
You
cut
think
it
I will pill you
off.
up?
Or you could see me, a clinical
But also, it was so funny.
non-licensed psychologist.
It was so funny when we got in the ambulance. Her demeanor, she literally was like, I was crazy back there. Like, she was like, I don't even know what that was. Like, I don't act like that. That was so weird of me. And I'm like shaking like a chihuahua. And I'm like, yeah, that was kind of weird.
Weird. But are you still a little scared of her? Because like I feel terrible for this woman.
Yes,
but
of
also
course.
She's coming
like
to get you.
I'm
Of
a
course.
little scared
Well, I'm
that
like,
you're
you're
gonna lash
obviously
out. Yeah.
mentally ill.
Yes.
And like, I don't know what the fucking phrase is that turns that
Right,
on.
yes, that would
you
I'd
know?
be scared
So
of.
I'm just being like, it was a little crazy, but I think it's okay.
I'm like, do you like the beach?
Yeah, I'm like just trying to keep her like steady and it was so fucking insane.
It's
dude.
so fucked. And then you just have to like go about your day.
But I still forever will be like, had I watched her get smushed by a train, that would have been way worse.
Yeah,
Would it
no,
have
this is-
been?
Yes.
That story was pretty.
It would have been. I mean,
I
I was raised
Yeah, but
Catholic,
think about
so
it.
like for the rest of
Smush-
my life, I'd be like, it was my fault.
yeah,
Smushed by a train,
10 minutes.
I
go
know.
home.
Right.
I know, but I like to think
Smushed by a train,
I like to think
go
that she
home.
got a
Yeah,
winter coat.
Yeah.
and maybe
I don't
her
think that's what
baby
happened.
lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I don't know. I'm just, you
And
know.
now everyone's dead. You reunited them. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Good
sent
job,
her right back to
Lizzy.
her abuser, babe.
Well, I tried.
In an
I
ambulance.
was like,
Yeah.
don't call that guy. And then the first thing she did was give him my phone number.
Yeah. That phone
The
call.
whole fucking ambulance ride, I was like, don't
I
ever
mean,
see
how
that
is
guy
he not
again.
going to get her phone number? It was written all over her
I know.
body.
Yeah.
I know.
He's like, no, I just looked at her hand. She didn't do anything.
So my Crown Heights cop story was working late, tired, out of my mind. Probably bipolar and manic at that point and not knowing it. Probably
Sorry,
being like,
Andrea.
I'm so creative. It's okay.
I'm an artist.
Working 9 to 5.
Wrong song.
Different song, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
That's okay. We can
having
all
fun.
make our
Okay.
own kind of
I'm
music.
young. I'm cool. I'm
Yeah.
hip. Sabrina Carpenter.
Shout out Sabrina Carpenter.
We're the same age.
We're the same age. We're all, do you know what's crazy? We're all 22.
I know.
Oh, that's
Aren't
weird
we-
because I'm 33.
We're so mature.
Yeah.
I'm 33.
We're so mature for our age. Why don't we date a
Oh.
40-year-old?
Oh, you guys are doing a
altogether?
bit. I'm just 33.
Yeah. No, me
Okay,
too.
cool.
I got off the train all fucking yacked out of my mind, and there was a guy just standing there, and he started smiling.
Mm.
And like when you talked about the Ralph Avenue stop, it was not far from that.
Mhm.
When it's you and one other stranger, when you're a woman, you're like, this could be it.
Yep.
It's all about you, babe. If you're gonna be fucked up, then I'm done.
I'm dead.
Yeah, and he smiled, and I was like, that wasn't a nice smile.
Yeah.
That was a like, oh,
Death smile.
Look
Here
at
we are.
this bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 a.m. Fucking
Thinks she can just walk home.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's just start walking.
Yeah.
And then he starts walking, and I'm like, maybe a speed walk, maybe a light little speed walk.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he also does a speed walk. He's doing a speed walk. I'm like, you know, when you make that decision of like, all right, bitch, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
If an action is not taken,
Yeah, what are
You're
you gonna
going
do?
to die.
you're fucking
That's
dead.
when you scream, "I'm pregnant and I have an infection."
Right, exactly.
Please
And I
don't do
just
this.
pooped my pants.
Yeah,
I'm
please
gonna
don't do
cut
that.
it off. And so
my vagina's teeth.
vagina dentata. So I start running, and like I watch so many fucking shows that I'm
Yeah.
like, if you run in like
Zigzag
zigzag, yeah,
That's actually dinosaurs.
right. Well,
Or bears, right?
yeah, yeah.
Crocodile.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Oh yeah.
They don't have
Shit.
the
crocodile
agility.
versus man. I mean, they're not the same.
Right.
right?
Death
yeah,
roll.
man or crocodiles with dicks.
Yeah.
I don't know if crocodiles have dicks.
I think
but
they do. The men.
But I think it's like
The man
inside.
crocodiles.
Yeah, I'd love if their dicks were inside.
I know.
How nice would that be?
Oh my god, that'd
Yeah.
be great. I would actually look at a man naked.
right.
If all the stuff was just inside and it was a
Yeah.
Ken doll.
Just
Yeah.
tucked in nicely.
That's so
That's
much
a
better.
surgery you can have.
At
Also, so much
you can
easier to live your
you can
life.
go I want nothing.
yeah.
You want nothing, but I want it in a pouch that you could take out when you need it.
I know.
Right. That's when you. That's
Like a
when
kangaroo.
You suck it in.
Yeah.
It's a kangaroo dick.
You
That's
can
when
cut it off.
Crocodiles,
suck it in.
kangaroos.
Cut
Is
it
this
off,
a
you can
Steve
suck
Irwin
it in.
podcast?
And so then I start zigzagging,
Right.
and then he's running. And I'm like, oh, you're
Oh, no,
so
no, no.
dead, bitch.
Yeah.
And I was in the best shape of my life because I was 18 and had an
Thank
eating
God.
disorder.
Right.
And I was absolutely...
But also exhausted.
Right. But I had that you're gonna
Adrenaline.
die, bitch, adrenaline. So I see a cop car. They're all in there, of course, just hanging
Eating
out.
Kissing on the mouth.
Eating donuts.
Kissing on the mouth.
Having gay
They're playing
sex.
suck and blow.
Yeah.
God, Elton, can't you suck?
Talking about how they beat their wives last night.
And no one got arrested.
Yeah. And I like slam my body onto their car, and I'm like, I am being chased. And they were like, and I was like, can you please
They're
drive
like, we're
me
actually
home?
on break.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Like,
like,
drive you home to the Bronx?
7 blocks.
They're like,
Yeah.
you know about the wire, right?
right. It's so far out of the wire. And they were like, if I bring you home,
Then I gotta bring everyone home.
100%.
And it's like, bitch, there's nobody else around.
Right,
No one
right.
will ever know.
I would have been like, you don't have to bring me home. Just let me stay in this car until this wacko.
Lunatic.
Yeah.
Right. If I bring you home, I have to
Or
bring
can
your
I just
rapist
talk to you so it looks like
Right.
we're friends?
Yeah. Why don't you get in the back of the car? And this is when I like was the most white privilege I've ever been, just coming from Canada at
Yeah.
art school. And I just demanded. I was like, I'll sit on your car.
Yeah.
I will sit
Which
on
is
the hood of
actually
your car.
Pretty effective too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to be
Like
your
they have
problem.
a dash cam, so
Right. So I'll be sitting on
Yeah.
your car. I'll be twerking on your car.
they're like, actually, you can arrest me.
right.
You want an easy arrest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in now. I didn't do
Right.
shit.
Am I going to die or am I going to get arrested?
Do you guys have
So-
sandwiches?
Just give me a ham and cheese, and you can blow
It'll
each
be
other in front of me.
bologna.
It's fine. Oh, totally. Would
That's
be
a jail
bologna.
sandwich,
Yeah. And so I got them to drive me home because I like demanded it, and then
And they're like,
You were like, and then when you got out of the car, you're like, just kidding about the guy chasing me. Thanks for the ride,
oh
guys.
my God, free ride.
So cute. So cutesy, not demure, not
Yeah.
mindful.
Also,
Definitely not.
the other thing that I just realized about this whole story is I considered taking an Uber home that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just spent all your money on drugs. You don't have any money.
Right.
Take the train.
Girl math.
And I like saw the other girl across from me. So I was like, whatever. Girls take the train. We'll
What
be
happened to
fine.
the other girl who went and got the
Like,
stopped the
I-
trash?
Well, she was
mean,
on the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was good.
Okay.
So she went home.
Yeah.
So she went
Nothing
home
happened
and
to
her
her?
life was the same.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to become a stand-up comedian. But what ended up happening was because I went to the hospital, it was like twice as far from my house, and then I took an Uber home from the hospital. So I ended up losing
You should be
fucking
able to.
money.
Did you write
also.
that off? You
Yeah,
should
write it off.
I know. I didn't know at the time.
Cut it off, write it off.
Write it off.
Yeah.
We're also
An
opening an accounting firm.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's when you write it off.
Write it off.
Take
Cut it
your
off.
take your credit card bill. Just throw that.
Write off your
Is that
house
what our-
bills.
is that what our
Yes.
practice is called? Write it off. Cut it off.
Yeah, write it off,
yeah,
cut it off.
perfect.
And we could have like a massage parlor. Write it off. Cut it off. Jerk it off.
Jerk it off.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Morgan.
We are business women.
Write it off. Cut it off. Jerk it off.
We've simply
Lizzy,
got.
Andrea, and Tracey.
We simply
We're
have
here.
to get a billboard for this.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're.
Salino and Barnes style.
God, I feel like I'm going to
yeah.
be the jerk it off.
You
No, I'm gonna
no,
do it.
no,
Okay,
you're-
I wanna
yeah,
cut it
you
off.
cut it
Yeah,
off.
I wanna
You
cut
cut
it
it
off.
off.
All right, I don't want to do it.
Write it off.
I'll write
cut
it off.
Yeah.
Jerk it off.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How long have we done, Mike?
Hour 20.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Oh my God.
We gotta
Just
go.
kidding.
We must
Hour
go.
15. We simply must go. Tracey,
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
You're the most wonderful
You're the
person.
best.
That is correct. Yes.
This is the greatest podcast to ever exist.
Well,
I love you both. Well, you have 25 podcasts, right?
I have many podcasts. So
Yeah.
we're trying to combine them.
Yeah.
I'm just covering a lot of reality TV, trash talk. So we have
funny.
90 Day Fiance trash talk, Teen Mom trash talk, Catfish trash talk. But I want to tell you guys about what we're covering
saw
on
Neve the other day.
Patreon.
Yes.
Vanderpump Rules.
Oh.
We're calling it So Pumped. Jersey Shore. It's called Macaroni Rascals.
Oh my God.
I love that.
I love this.
Noelle has a brand new, my podcast co-host Noelle, she has
Love
a brand
Noelle.
new podcast called Recycled with Noelle and Michael. It's Noelle and Michael, obviously.
Right.
And they covered Real Housewives of New Jersey season 2. They're covering Mob Wives.
Oh my
they
God.
covered such cinematic classics
is
as
amazing.
Crossroads by Britney Spears, Fear by Marky
Oh,
Mark.
I forgot
They're
about
really,
that.
they're
Yeah.
really going. So that's all on our Patreon, patreon.com/trash talk podcast. But you could follow me at Trixie Tuzini, TRIXIETUZZINI, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, TraceyCarnazzo.com for everything podcast related that I just told you about.
Amazing.
All of my upcoming stand-up comedy tour dates at TraceyCarnazzo.com, TraceyCarnazzo.com.
Dude,
We're
Tracy
obsessed.
is
Thank
a
you.
fucking
Oh my God.
killer on stage. She's so much fun.
Yeah.
So listen,
Insane.
I learned it from watching you guys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
shut up,
I
you.
mean, all of us so young, so new to stand up.
So
are
new.
just so
I'm 33.
talented.
Just
I am a little
started.
bit older than you guys.
Yeah, no, it's
So,
a little
yeah.
bit. But
I'm
by
actually 59.
Oh, well.
culturally, yes.
Culturally, I'm 59.
Someone came up to me after a show recently and was just like, I love this reality TV show. And I was like, cool, babe. And then she was like, do you like it? And I was like, I don't really watch reality TV, but let me tell you what a
thank you.
podcast.
Let me tell you.
We're out here plugging each other.
Hear
I love
it,
this.
suck
Yeah.
it, fuck it, and duck
And we're
it.
plugging, and we're absolutely plugging each other.
Cut it off, write it off, jerk it off.
So I love Tracy. I went to your live podcast.
Oh my
New York
God.
Comedy Fest. Oh.
You made my night that night.
It was the funniest shit ever. I cannot recommend seeing Tracy live enough, listening to her podcast,
Thank you.
consuming
She's
her.
incredible.
She's incredible. Lizzie, where can they
Oh,
find
you
you?
guys.
Follow you.
Follow me on Instagram at Lizzy Cassidy, Lizzy with a Y. Listen to my other podcast, Close Calls. And I run a show every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 o'clock in Brooklyn called Comedians You Should Know.
Great show. Follow me at
Amazing.
Andrea Comedy 69 on all platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube for this fucking show. Comment. We love to see you there.
Say hey.
Say hey.
Holla.
Tell us
And-
what you would have done.
Yeah. tell us how you would have handled maybe this life-altering situation that was just one of
I like
10
that.
million
Yeah.
moving forward. And
Did the cops ever drive you home? Question
Yeah,
mark.
right?
Let
Give
us know.
Give us a call. Oh, yeah. We're going to get a little call-in number soon. So
Yeah.
keep your
I wanna
eye up
call
for that.
in.
Oh, my God. Every
Please,
week,
can you
Tracy
just
be like, hey,
calls in.
constantly
Tracy.
call in? Keep us updated.
Keep us in the loop.
What are you guys doing?
If you have any questions about your skin or vagina, we'll pass them to Tracy.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
If you have anything tax related, Lizzie's taking off.
I
And if you
guess I'll
need
figure
to
that
be jerked
out.
off, apparently.
Yeah,
Andrea.
Yeah.
I'll check you
For a small
off.
fee.
Yeah,
Small fee.
for a small fee. All right, ladies.